Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about a simple but honestly super powerful tool that can completely change the way you tackle problems. Think of it as a secret weapon that the pros use, sometimes without even thinking about it. Let's jump right in.
You know that feeling, right? You've worked through a whole problem, you feel pretty good about it, you checked your calculations, and then you see the answer, and it's off by like a factor of 1,000. It's that sinking feeling where you just stare at your paper thinking, how on earth did that happen? It's got to be one of the most frustrating things ever. But what if I told you that the big mistake probably wasn't in your multiplication or your division? Seriously, it's not about how good you are at math. The real error happened way earlier because you skipped the very first and maybe the most important step. It's a habit of just jumping in too fast, and today we're going to build a much better one.
And this isn't just a theory. I'm telling you, over my entire career, I have watched so many smart, capable students stumble, not because the work was too difficult, but because they were all making the exact same totally preventable mistake. It all came down to one little habit they were missing, a habit that could have changed everything.
So, what is this smarter first step? It's something we call estimation reasoning. Yeah, it sounds a little formal, I know, but trust me, it's an incredibly simple idea that basically puts up guardrails for your thinking. Okay, so what is it exactly? Estimation reasoning is just this. It's the habit of taking a deliberate pause before you even think about solving. I mean, before you touch your calculator, before you write down a single number, you stop, you think, you reason about what kind of answer makes sense, and you define a plausible range. And this is the key. It is not a random guess. It's a logical check that creates a safety net for all the work that comes after. The whole process is really just 3 simple steps. First, you pause. Seriously, just fight that urge to start calculating. Put the calculator down. Second, you reason. You ask yourself, okay, what am I expecting here? Should this be a big number, a tiny one, a percentage? And third, you bound it. You just create a little window for your answer. I know for sure it has to be more than this, but definitely less than that. All right, so theory is great, but how does this actually work in the real world? Let's put it to the test. We're going to look at 2 examples. One's pretty simple, and the other one shows how this little habit can save you from a complete disaster of an answer.
Okay, check this out. What's 30 divided by 98 as a percentage? Now be honest, your first instinct, your muscle memory, is probably to reach for your phone or calculator, right? But hold on. Let's try our new habit. Just pause. Think for a second. Just look at the difference here. If you jump straight to the calculator, you have 0 context. No safety net. But with estimation reasoning, your brain goes, okay, 98, that's super close to 100, and 30 divided by 100, that's easy, it's 30%. But wait, since I'm dividing by a slightly smaller number, the final answer has to be a little bit bigger than 30%. And boom, just like that, you've created a mental guardrail. If your calculator spits out 3.06% or maybe 35%, you know immediately, whoops, I must have hit the wrong key.
Okay, that was just a warm-up, a simple example. But this habit, this is where it really becomes a lifesaver, when the problems get trickier. Let's look at a case where this little pause can save you from making a huge, and I mean huge, but super common error. So here's a classic. You've probably seen one like it before. A colony of bacteria starts with 100 cells. It doubles every 20 minutes. The question is, how many bacteria are there after 3 hours? This question is a textbook example of a trap, and so many students walk right into it because they just start punching numbers without thinking first.
And this is where you face a fork in the road mentally. Down one path, you've got the linear trap. It's so tempting, your brain just goes, okay, 3 hours, that's 9 20-minute chunks. So it just gets 9 times bigger. But if you pause, you'll see the other path, the estimation path. And it makes you ask a crucial question. What kind of growth are we looking at here? That word, doubles, that's the giant flashing sign. This isn't linear, it's exponential. It's not 9 times bigger, it's 2 to the power of 9 times bigger.
If you follow that first easy path, you get 900. And here's why it's so dangerous. 900, it doesn't seem crazy, right? It feels kind of plausible, you did the math, you got an answer, and you'd probably just write it down and move on, having no idea you just fell for one of the oldest tricks in the book. But because you paused and thought about it, you know the answer is going to be around 100 times 512. That's 51,200. Now just look at those 2 numbers, 900 versus more than 50,000. That little pause didn't just get you into the right ballpark, it literally saved you from being in the wrong sport altogether. So you can see, this is way bigger than just getting a few more points on a test. This habit, it honestly becomes your superpower, especially as the problems you tackle get bigger and more complicated in school and way beyond. And trust me on this, as you move on, the problems you face well, they get messy. There isn't always a clear step one, and that's when estimation becomes your compass. It literally saves you from wasting hours, maybe even days, going down the wrong path, all because your first gut check told you, nope, this doesn't feel right. This is the real difference between someone who works smart and someone who just spins their wheels.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? How do I make this a real habit? It's actually pretty simple, but you have to be intentional about it. So let's break down the action plan.
Here it is, your new game plan for tackling any problem. Step 1 is the same. Read it, make sure you get it. But step 2, this is the secret ingredient. You pause. Seriously, before anything else, just stop. Then, in step 3, you ask that simple question. What kind of answer am I expecting? A huge number? A tiny one? Is it growing steadily or exploding? Only then, in step 4, do you start the actual work. And step 5? That's your victory lap, where you check your final answer against that initial gut check. Does it make sense? Perfect.
And that's really the core of it all. Taking that second to pause isn't a sign that you're slow or that you don't know what you're doing. It's the exact opposite. It's the signature move of an expert. It's the difference between someone who just throws things at the wall to see what sticks and someone who actually, systematically, solves problems.
So I'm going to leave you with a little mantra, something to repeat to yourself every time you start a new problem. Before you solve, estimate. Before you calculate, bound. I promise you, if you make this a real habit, it won't just help your grades, it'll completely change the way you see every problem you face.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.